everybody, and welcome back to this week's episode of Agronomy Insights. Today I have with me an agronomy account manager from here in Sperry, Iowa, Miss Kendra Kotzer. Kendra, how you doing?
Good, Dylan.
I also have with me today a specialist in plant nutrition, the man himself, Mr. Kevin Shedd. Kevin, how you doing?
Doing well, Dylan. Thank you.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about deficiencies that we've been seeing. Kendra, will you touch a little bit, with the weather we've had, what have you been seeing?
Yeah, so we first started planting corn here in southeast Iowa the last week of April, and then the month of May we got 15 inches of rain. So we have corn anywhere from VE to V5 or V6. So the corn that is at that's at V5 or V6, there's a lot of variability throughout the field. Some of it is seeing some sulfur deficiencies, some nitrogen deficiencies, and micronutrient deficiencies, which you expect for a month in the ground of cold, wet weather.
So, Kevin, do you want to touch on that a little bit? What's your 2 cents on all this?
Yeah, so I think that depending on what type of application you're going to do, so if you're talking about a sulfur deficiency, if you're going to do a top dress of urea, a really great addition would be AMS into that, so you get your sulfur as a part of that mix. If you're doing a post-herbicide or a post-emerge application, I would use something from the Maxin line, so a Maxin ZMB, which would be zinc, manganese, and boron, or a Maxin sulfur, Maxin manganese.
Gotcha. Speaking of boron, Kendra, I've heard you mention that you're seeing some boron deficiencies based off tissue tests. That's not something we see often. Why is that?
Yeah, that's due to just the cold, wet weather that we've had. Either the boron's getting tied up in the soil, or it's leaving with all the water.
Yep. So you're saying with those fields that have that are showing that boron deficiency, max in ZMB, or should they go strictly max in boron?
So what we see from tissue sampling is that almost all the fields are deficient in zinc. So you're not going to want to take that zinc out of there. So I would do the Maxin ZMB, and I'd spike it with a little bit of the Maxin boron, just because of the unusual amount of deficiency we're seeing this year. Speaking
of tissue testing, that's something that's near and dear to my heart. One of the things that I think is so beneficial from tissue testing is it's actually showing what's going on in each individual field. It's not as much of a blanket application. You can pinpoint where the problem areas are in the field and then apply accordingly. Kendra, is there anything else you'd like to touch on before we wrap this thing up?
Yeah, so I just tell everyone to keep a close eye on your fields, scout them, and if you have any questions, contact your agronomy account manager.
Yep, no doubt. I'd like to throw in a little 2 cents of make sure you have your bug soother, because I don't know if you can tell it or not, but the flies are pretty rough. Kevin, do you have anything that you'd like to touch on?
Nothing in particular with this, Dylan. Just be in contact with your account manager and make sure that you're just, as Kendra said, being alert to what's going on, so that we're able to manage this crop the best that we possibly can.
Yep, no doubt. Well, Kevin, thanks for being on today. I enjoyed it. Kendra, good to see you again.
Thanks, Dylan.
We'll see y'all next time.